Welcome to the Vaughn Hanshaw broadcast. This is your evangelist, Brother Vaughn Hanshaw. I am continuing part 3 of my teaching on angels of light, and we left off dealing with Calvinism over in part 2, and I want to deal with one point of Calvinism's false theology here, which is the once saved, always saved, eternal security heresy. There are millions of people on their way to hell today, thanks to Charles Stanley, Billy Graham, and John MacArthur, who believe and teach in eternal security, once saved, always saved, began by the cult leader John Calvin. They walked down some church aisle, wrote their names on some church roll after they joined some deadly dead dry Baptist or Presbyterian church or whatever church teaches the eternal security, once saved, always saved. They got dunked in some water tank, and they sincerely believe they're on their way to heaven, even though they've never had a true heart-changing, mind-changing, life-changing experience with Jesus Christ. They are false converts. On the other hand, there are others who have been truly born again. They did have a heart-changing, life-changing, mind-changing experience with Christ, but they have chosen to turn their back on Christ, forsake Christ, quit following Christ, quit serving Christ. And my friend, you need to know and be aware of and realize and fully understand that the Bible says that there is a potential and a possibility of backsliding and becoming an apostate Christian. Billy Graham, Charles Stanley, Adrian Rogers, and John MacArthur, and a half a thousand other preachers are angels of light as they teach the damnable doctrine of eternal security, once saved, always saved. But what does the Bible say about a born-again Christian who chooses to turn his or her back on Christ? 2 Peter 2:21 says, "For it had been better for them not to have ever known the way of righteousness, then after knowing it, after living it, after experiencing it, after believing it, to turn from the holy commandment and to turn away from Christ." John says over in the book of Revelation that some Christians will have their names blotted out of the book of life. Hebrews 6 declares that a born-again believer can backslide and reach such a dark state of sin and unbelief that it becomes impossible for those once enlightened to ever come back to Christ ever again. They have crossed the line of no return. They have committed spiritual apostasy, and they have forfeited their born-again experience. All right, now let's turn our attention to the word of faith, Jesus. The word of faith, health and wealth, name it and claim it, blab it and grab it, believe it and receive it, confess it and possess it, Jesus, is not the Jesus of the Bible. This pseudo, counterfeit, impostor of Jesus wants all of us to live in divine health, wealth, prosperity, and success so we can live our best life now. This Jesus, according to the cult leader Joyce Meyer, became demon-possessed on the cross, died and went into the flames of hell, suffered in hell for 3 days and 3 nights, and became the first born-again man in the New Testament. This is called the Jesus died spiritually doctrine of devils. In that word of faith cult, man is a little God. Man can have what he speaks into existence. Man can command God and decree God to do things for him. The word of faith, Christian Science, New Age, and witchcraft are all metaphysical New Age cults that teach very similar doctrines of demons. But my question to you is, what does the Bible say about the word of faith cult? First of all, these word of faith teachers are tongue-talking, miracle-working angels of light, wolves in sheep's clothing, who are teaching about another Jesus and another gospel. The Bible says that man is not a god or a goddess, that man does not have the power to speak anything into existence, nor command God to do anything for him. God is God and man is not a God, period. The Bible says that God does not heal everyone every time, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the sick person's faith. The Word of Faith crowd says that a person who is not physically healed because they have a lack of faith, or they have a sin in their life, or they have a demon. That is a lie from the devil himself. The Bible says that the Word of Faith charismatic bunch assumes that gain, money, riches, wealth is godliness. From such, turn away, turn away, turn away, run from that crowd, because the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, I pray you've been blessed by today's program. Tell your friends and family, if they love the truth, to tune in to us. Until next time, may God richly bless you, is my sincere prayer.